Hi, this is Dustin Hobbs with the California MBA. Welcome to Connect, our weekly podcast featuring one-on-one interviews with movers and shakers in the mortgage industry. Really excited about our guest today. Marlene Chaker has been on our board of directors for a number of years, been involved in the industry and the California MBA for a number of years. She's the founder and CEO of AAA-AMC, and I'm really excited to find out what she's got to say about her journey, what's going on in the industry right now, and sort of where we go from here. So before we get into the conversation, though, I want to thank our sponsors at Accelerate. Accelerate helps lenders close more loans through better borrower engagement as the mortgage industry's most innovative marketing and sales engagement platform. Accelerate's CRM helps lenders manage workflow, contact strategies, lead management, referral, and realtor partners and reporting. Accelerate's engagement platform automates multi-channel marketing through social media, email, direct mail, text messages, ringless voicemail, and phone calls, all pre-built with the strategies and content to enable a better borrower engagement. Accelerate integrates with the software that's powering your business today and into the future. And in addition, the platform is SOC 2 and SSAE 18 certified to satisfy the most closely regulated businesses, including banks with mortgage subsidiaries. So for more information or to see a demo, visit accelerate.com, or you can reach the company by contacting them at the phone number in the description below. So before we get into the conversation with Marlene, I want to make sure we give a chance for Susan Milazzo, our CEO, to give us an update on what's going on in Sacramento and at the California MBA. So take it away, Susan.
Hi, this is Susan with the California MBA, here with your weekly video update. We've announced some date changes for the Western Secondary Market Conference. So we will be holding that conference this year, September 23rd through the 25th at the Monarch Beach Resort in Dana Point. This year, we're also offering a hybrid experience. So you'll have the option of attending in person or virtually through our new app that we're going to be sharing with everyone. So you'll have an opportunity to not only hear our live stream sessions, but also visit all of our sponsors through our virtual exhibit hall so you can find out about their products and services that might help you grow your business in the coming year. So visit our website for more information on either registration or sponsorships, and we'll look forward to seeing you in September. That's it for this week, and we'll see you next time.
All right, thanks, Susan. All right, now let's get into the conversation here with Marlene. Marlene, welcome. Thanks for joining us on Connect this week.
Thank you for having me. It was exciting. I got to get ready, put my makeup on, and all that.
It's one of those things where it's like once a week I get to come in here and dress like a regular human and have actual conversations with other humans. It's kind of nice. So tell us, let's start at the beginning. Tell us about your journey. I know you've got a unique journey in the industry. How did you end up sort of in our industry, and then specifically in the appraisal side of the business?
I think I'm one of many of us in the industry that we did not know that we're going to be in the industry, and we got shifted. Back then, I was studying to do my industrial engineer, and I was working at an appraisal office, just answering phone calls and scheduling appointment for appraisers. Back then, I would prepare the Thomas guide. We didn't have the smartphone and all this, just to give them the map so they can find the comps and all this. And then little by little, I got more involved. Then I decided to take the appraisal class, and I did. And then I decided to go on for my trainee, to get my trainee license. And then the 2008, started, and the whole dynamic changed. And then I lost all my clients that it took me years to build. I could not get them on. So I started going on AMC list back then, putting ourselves on it. And for 5 to 6 months, I did not get any order. So one day I was really frustrated, just like so many of us. And I said, okay, you don't want to put me on the list. I'm going to create my own list. And then I downloaded the HVCC back then, the document was 81, 83 pages. And I started learning on it. Obviously, I had no idea I'm going to be where I am today. All I wanted just to keep going, paying my bills and working. And here I am. I mean, in this industry, if you don't change and move, you either disappear or it kind of forced me to grow and, to get more license and to get, more states. And now we're nationwide. So this is how it started.
Yeah. So tell me, what was your experience? And, it's not everyone we've spoken to has actually started a company themselves. What was your experience starting the company? What was maybe your biggest challenge and, sort of your greatest reward looking back now?
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so back then I thought that, I'm good at what I'm doing. I'm a people person. I work hard and I can, be in between the clients and the lenders and, like the vendors and the lenders and like do play the game. Little that I know that I end up doing everything that I don't know and I don't like, because I didn't think about the accounting, the taxes, the HR, the legal document, the licensing, all that. Like I wasn't prepared for it. And then it just hit me. And it was so hard because I was like, it was just only me on my own. So I had to wear all, kind of hats. So it was really, really like hard and tough because people don't know, what to build the business. You don't think about it, at that
You don't
time.
know what you don't know.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And the greatest achievement, like what, like it makes me really good and happy is just by creating jobs and hiring and having thousands of appraisers on my list, plus building my own teams. It's humbling, like to say that it makes me feel so good that I'm helping and creating livelihood for thousands of Americans out there. We have like over 6,000 appraisers on our list right now. So it's like it gives you like like it feels good that you're doing something, and also like it's so great. Like I build my clientele from the ground up, and it's one thing to bring a client on board, but keeping them happy and maintaining them, it's a whole different game. So all this like keeps me excited and going.
Right on. Well, so tell me, I mean, you kind of hint at it there, but how did you build that the company culture that has sustained those both the relationships with your appraisers and both, and then within the staff? I mean, I know you've got a
Hmm.
really loyal and long-term staff there. How have you been able to create that culture? What's maybe sort of the key to creating that culture?
Yeah. Originally, we started building the culture on building like stepping stone for my staff to um, stay and continue to like be the same drive and the customer service that I was already doing. And at the same time, I gave my staff the to create their own skills, like the freedom to like build up their own skills in their respective positions. And I can say today that, our culture is kind of more like a family dynamic, like we're all working together. And I'm very blessed to have an amazing staff, starting from my chief appraiser to like every single one that is been working with me for so long. And we always have intern, also students. Every summer we get one or two.
Yeah. Well, and I know that it's been, a big part of both in your own personal development and in the development of the staff there. You've really done a good job supporting the professional development of your staff too. It's not like you kind of leave them out there and say, hey, good luck building your own professional background. I mean, you've really taken an interest in building that. What's been sort of the benefit back to you as the business owner?
Yeah, well, the mortgage industry, and it's such a challenging industry with with the ups and downs and highs and lows. And I had my share, and then I still have my share. Um, and it's like it's kind of hard, like to build the customer service and like to have it. And so many times I felt like, that I cannot do it anymore. I felt like, this is it. I'm done. It's draining. I'm tired. It's not easy, to keep it up. It's very hard until I came across with the future leader with the California MBA. I thought to myself, oh, well, let me give it a try. Let me see what I'm missing. Maybe I'll learn something. Maybe like, I always wanted to try my best before, I give up. And in return, it helped my company thrive. And I'm a big fan of this program. And from that time, every single year, I would enroll one of my employee or one of my staff in it. Like it helped them so much. I mean, imagine having all your team, that have the leaders kind of up, and then they're helping you leaders. And I mean, I totally believe in that. I didn't stop there. After that, it's kind of like, I opened it up a whole different, I enrolled in that SOM, the School of Mortgage Industry with the National MBA, and I did the future leader of the National MBA. I actually advise every single like business owner to invest in their employees and then to give them that chance. not only that, you meet so many, like, your colleague in it, like you meet so many people and friends and create, and you learn from them, and also you can help them grow. I totally believe in it. I'm a big fan of the Future Leader program.
Yeah, one, I appreciate your support too. I mean, you've done a great job supporting the program, and obviously, like you said, you've been through it yourself. And
Yeah.
I've yet to talk to anybody that has either gone through either our Future Leaders program or the MBAs or some other program like that, and has gotten out and said, "Well, that was a waste of money. I shouldn't have done that." Everybody says, almost to a person,
Absolutely.
it was totally worth the money. I wish I'd done it sooner. I'm going to tell everyone about it. I mean, it's really one of those things that, until you really dig into
Absolutely.
it, you don't know what you're missing.
Absolutely. I think it's a great investment.
Yeah. Well, let's switch gears here, but I'm curious. This is the topic that's been on everyone's mind the last couple of months. How has the pandemic impacted your company and your employees, and sort of maybe even the wider appraisal business?
Mhm. Well, this pandemic had obviously, like, hit so many, all of us in this industry, like, starting with me, like our volume went down from 50 to 60%. And like, I think everybody was hitting, like, some of the appraisers were afraid to go and do the inspection. And for the appraisers that were able and still willing to go do the inspection, the borrower were not comfortable to have anybody in to do the inspection. So it hits really hard. But then after that, like, the interest rate, when it went down, it kind of, like, helped the volume go up. So the borrowers took advantage and the lenders start taking advantage of the refinancing and or purchasing. So that kind of stabilized a little bit, on volume. And if it keeps staying that way, I believe it will stabilize the volume that we lost and it went down.
Yeah. Do you think that there's any, long-term trends that are going to come out of the pandemic from your business and what you're seeing on the appraisal side? Are there any long-term, maybe it's things that there were adjustments that were made on the appraiser side that you think that will kind of stick around and maybe not, we won't go back to a normal after the pandemic is over?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of measures on altering the way we conduct business right now, like we're doing the inspection, or there's like the app that the borrower can download, take pictures, and share it with the appraiser for the exterior report. And I mean, this thing, you can say, and I can say that it's been changing. It's not only now. I mean, we've been like dealing with it every 6 or to 8 months, something new will come up. So I mean, now we're facing that one, but it won't like change it completely. What we need to do is change with the change, like, and direct. If they're like, the appraisal industry is here to stay. Like, I mean, since I started this industry, they've been saying that, they're not going to keep it. The technology is, is going to take over. And we've seen so many different things, but yet that there's a product or it's a system that will have the lenders happy or the borrowers happy or satisfied with that change. I believe if the technology, we must move with it and change with it. But I think if to work really good and to succeed is to have an appraiser always, managing, and they always, the appraiser opinion. Appraisers take so long. I mean, first you put like almost a year to finish the class. Second of all, you have to do over 2,000 hours to train with them and with an appraiser. Then like to write another exam to get your issue. Like, it's so many years. It's not that easy. They put so much time. It's not like they come up out of the wood and then they say, okay, I'm going to do the valuation. So I totally 100% believe that the appraiser's input is very, very important. And for the appraisers to stay is or like to keep changing, they need to maneuver and change, and then like index. And I believe, and I think, like from my personal opinion, that the appraiser got the biggest hit in 2008 when the whole world went upside down and they lost all the control. And look at them, like now they kind of changed, and they kind of like playing the game and they're doing good. So I think that they will, this is not going to affect them that much, and it's going to be good. They
Sure.
will change and they will work on it.
More of an adaptation to whatever comes next kind of thing, huh?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you hearing about from just your own clients on the lender side, as far as sort of the state of the industry? Where are we at right now? Things are starting to open up a little bit, but not everyone's back to work yet, obviously. So what are you hearing?
Well, it's fair to assume that most of us in the industry are worried. And this is not the first time that we face any crisis, and definitely it won't be the last time. What I think is like, they need to work harder and educate themselves and for the change and for the, what's happening. And with time, like, if we do that and we work harder to create solutions, I think we'll continue to strive, like, to thrive.
Yeah, yeah. So, question for you, I guess maybe going back to talking about culture and how you started the company and your investment in your employees. I know it's a big part of who you are is to be a mentor to those maybe behind you in the industry, younger than you in the industry. And it's, in part because, you've been mentored yourself. I know just from talking to you, in a lot of ways. How important is that to give back to the industry? I know, just tell us a little bit about your thoughts on mentors and mentees and what that means to you.
It is incredibly important to me to give back in the industry. And I believe, like, because when I first started in this industry, I didn't know much and I didn't have much. I mean, it took me time to build until I had someone mentor. So to me, I take my mentorship role very, very seriously. And I love to support and help and direct, especially new members that are coming in. I can sense it and feel it when there's somebody, like, when I'm in the conferences and I feel like, they're last little bit because I was there. I was one of them. So I felt like, I like to include them, explain to them, help them, direct them, introduce them. I mean, this is, after all, this is what it is, like, it's very important. You won't be able to make it in this industry unless you you show up to conferences and meet people and build your clientele and keep trying your best.
Yeah. Well, to that point, how as a vendor in the industry, how important have you found it, and how, I guess, maybe a tangibly beneficial have you found it to be a member of the California MBA and other trade groups? What's that, what's the tangible benefit to you as an owner?
See, that's an up until I attended the first conference with the California MBA. I did not know anyone in the industry, and no one knew about me or my company. So I remember the first one I did was the secondary conference, I think 2010. When I went there, I was just like learning, like, just sitting, learning, like what's going on, what do people do, and then just like trying to mingle or whatever. I think I keep going back to this, and I laugh. I think the people that I met at the lobby at the Weston Secondary, because it was my first and I didn't know anything, so I was just like sitting, lobbying or whatever. I think that whoever talked to me back then, they thought of me, it's either this girl is genius or she has no idea what she's talking about. Because whatever, like, sometimes the conversation happened, like, it flies over my head. I have no idea what they're talking about, but I needed to come up with, like, some answers. So obviously I keep thinking, I wonder what they thought about me. I will share one story with you that, I mean, back then it used to be like sad, I cried from it, but now I look back at it and this is what, how I build myself, through at the Weston conference with the California MBA. The first time, like, how at the lobby, there's like the chairs are so like priceless, not many people can sit. So I'm just like sitting there, obviously, because I'm sitting, I'm not doing anything. And a lot of people will come, oh, can I use this chair? Or can I, and then people will meet next to me. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, and then they'll leave and they'll come back. And I have to go have a meeting. Can I come back? And, I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm here. So one of them, and there was like a few different people, like, different companies. One of them, he said, oh, don't you have any meeting? I said, like, I had to like come up with an excuse or other. I'm like, yeah, of course I have. Actually, my next meeting in 15 minutes. Can you please like save the chairs? Like, yeah, absolutely. My first meeting went to the bathroom. I stayed half an hour in that stall. And I'm telling you, like, it was so nerve-wracking, but this is how I did it, And then after that like conference, I did like 2-3 meetings, and then I'll come back to them, high five. Yeah, it was a great meeting. Da, da, da. But see, without the conference, without the California MBA, without being a member, without like connecting in this, I would not know anyone. I would not know anything, and I would not be where I am today. So this is how important, like, it's very, very, very important and essential. I mean, if you want to grow, you want to build, you have to be connected.
Yeah, well, and I think just from talking to you over these years, I mean, clearly, just joining the California MBA or any other association or group, I mean, you're only going to get out of it what you put in, and you put in, years and years of dedicated work into the California MBA, you're obviously getting back from that.
Oh, obviously, of course, big time. I mean, I built my whole business through that. So yeah.
Well, and so, okay, let's say, I know we're getting tight on time here. So, to close this out, what bit of advice would you have for either a lender or an appraiser? I'll kind of leave it up to you for them to position themselves to grow coming out of the pandemic. I don't want to say, how do you, survive the pandemic anymore? I'm kind of getting tired of that question, to be honest. I'd rather look forward and say, hey, what's the, positive message that, you can give someone to position themselves to grow coming out?
Well, this is the time that I would say do not give up. On the contrary, you have to work harder and put more, educate yourself and stay on top of everything to create a solution that we're gonna come out of it. And then we will. I mean, it's just another wave, a hard wave that we have to swim through it. And I think this will pass. So just do not give up, keep working, keep dedicating, don't give hope, keep doing what you're doing. And then I'm sure, you'll thrive.
Great. Hey, Marlene, thanks for your time today. Really appreciate the conversation. If you want to follow us you can follow us on YouTube, on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. Make sure and sort of bookmark it and save the date each. We're live, or we release the new episode each Monday morning. So make sure and sort of save that date. Eventually, we'll all be driving back into the office, so you can use that as sort of your drive time podcast. And if you want to find out more about Marlene, what's the website, Marlene?
It's www.aaa-amc.net. Thank you so much, Dustin.
Hey, thanks, Marlene, and we'll see you next week on Connect.